Good morning, students. How are you? I hope you all are good. In the previous class, we had completed our first chapter, and in today's class, we will start with the second chapter, that is the Industrial Revolution and the Rise of Imperialism. Students, the topics which we are going to discuss today are pre-industrial revolution, industrial revolution, features of the industrial revolution, causes of the industrial revolution, spread of the industrial revolution, and impact of the industrial revolution. So let's begin with the first topic, pre-industrial revolution. During the medieval period, agriculture was the main occupation. Everybody was associated with land. The needs of the villagers were simple and few. Whatever they needed was made by the artisans and craftsmen of the villages. Every village was self-sufficient and had its own weavers, blacksmiths, carpenters, and other skilled workers. Well, simple tools were used to make the goods, and they were made at home with the help of the family members. Family members, they helped to make the goods. The finished products were sold to the local communities. This system of production was known as domestic system. Now, the exploration and discovery of new lands led to an increase in overseas trade and commerce, which led to the growth of towns and cities and the emergence of a wealthy middle class. Because of the increase in towns and cities and because of the emergence of wealthy middle class, the demand for the consumer and luxury items greatly increased. The domestic system could not fulfill this growing demand. The demands were growing and the domestic system could not fulfill these growing demands. Why? Because the method of production were not good enough and too slow. Because of the slow method and the method was not too good, they could not fulfill the growing demands. So an improved system became the need of the hour. A modified and more effective system evolved. It was called the putting out system. This system was called the putting out system, under which merchants put out or supplied the raw materials to the artisans and later sold the finished goods products in distant markets. The artisans worked either at their home or at workshop outside their home. The artisans, they worked at home or outside their home, and the domestic workers received from the merchant the payment or wages for their labor. The workers who worked, they got their wages from their merchant. This system was a precursor to the factory system that followed. The next topic is Industrial Revolution. Children, what is Industrial Revolution? The great and radical transformation in industry which fundamentally altered all the methods, techniques and organization of production and distribution is known as Industrial Revolution. See, by the middle of the 18th century, a series of remarkable inventions led to an economic revolution in England, which came to be known as the Industrial Revolution. Now, we come to features of the Industrial Revolution. The main features of the Industrial Revolution were, see, domestic system of production was replaced by factory system. Then next point, manual labor was replaced by machines. The work which was done by the human beings, now machine took that place. The work was done by the machine. Next point, small scale production gave way to large scale production. Next, large scale mass manufacture of goods was carried on in factories instead of homes of the artisans. Power driven machines replaced simple tools. First the work was done by simple tools, but now power driven machines had taken the place of simple tools. These factories, including the resources and the means of production, were owned by rich merchants known as capitalists, or the people who owned the capital. The next is causes of the Industrial Revolution in England. There were many factors that paved the way for the Industrial Revolution in England. It means there were many reasons for the Industrial Revolution in England. Surplus capital, economic growth and an increased overseas trade led to the accumulation of enormous wealth in England. The surplus capital was used in the development of new industries and in setting up of new factories. Here, with surplus capital, we mean that the money which was gained, or the profit which was made, was used in establishing new industries or in setting up new factories. See, political stability in England provided conditions that were favorable for economic growth. The political stability was favorable for the economic growth. Agricultural revolution. There was an agricultural revolution that preceded the Indian Revolution, that led the Indian Revolution. This was due to the consolidation of land holdings through the enclosures. Consolidation of land holdings here means bringing together different pieces of land and merge together. There was improvement in agricultural methods such as rotation of crops and the introduction of new farming machinery which increased the agricultural production. These were the reasons which increased the agricultural production. Availability of cheap labor. The mechanization of agriculture led to large-scale unemployment of farmers. Here it means that due to the introduction of machine, large number of farmers became unemployed or they became jobless, who migrated to towns and cities. When they became jobless, they migrated from village, they migrated to towns and cities in search of jobs, and where they were ready to work in factories at low wages because they were in need. So they were even ready to work in low wages. The enclosure movement had led to the takeover of land by rich landlords, and so the small landless farmers also migrated to towns and cities in search of employment in factories. They provided a readily available pool of cheap labor. Now the next is availability of coal and iron. See, children, coal and iron were the two essential resources for the growth of industries. For the growth of industries, coal and iron were the two essential resources, and these two things, coal and iron, were available in large scale in northern England, and because of which many industrial towns and cities were located in this region. Now the next is major inventions. See, what were the major inventions? Political and social stability in England created conditions that were favorable to creativity. The first phase of the Industrial Revolution was based on mechanization of the cotton industry, and Lancashire, particularly Manchester, became the center of the cotton industry. Manchester became the center of the cotton industry. New machines such as spinning jenny, flying shuttle, water frame, power loom, cotton gin improved the textile industry. Pump and steam engine using steam power and safety lamp helped to extract coal from the coal mines and increase the production of coal and iron. There was a need for better transport facilities and communication. George Stephenson's steam locomotive, John Macadam's road building technique, Thomas Edison's incandescent lamp, Graham Bell's telephone, and Marconi's telegraph were some inventions in the field. naval supremacy. Backed by a power navy, the strongest in the world, England had acquired a large number of colonies. Now we come to the next spread of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution began in England. It went through different phases and spread to different countries at different times. Mechanized industries were introduced in France, Germany, USA and Japan. Germany made rapid progress after its unification and became one of the leading industrial nations in Europe. Britain gradually lost its lead by the end of the 19th century. The USA made major progress in the iron and steel industry. It soon became one of the leading industrial nations of the world. Now we come to the impact of the Industrial Revolution. Impact of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution radically changed the entire fabric of the Western society, which means that the Industrial Revolution completely changed the Western society. Economic impact. Urbanization. The Industrial Revolution led to the growth of many towns and cities where factories were set up, and people from villages began to migrate to these industrial towns and cities in search of jobs. Shifting of the population from rural to urban areas was an important development of the Industrial Revolution. The next is factory system. The Industrial Revolution led to the destruction of the domestic system of production. Workers went to work in factories and machine-made goods were manufactured on a large scale. The workers was divided between the people according to their ability and capability. See, first the workers, they worked at home and the family members helped to make the goods. But now the system had completely changed. The workers went to the factories and machine-made goods were manufactured on a large scale, and the people were divided according to their ability and capability. Next is division of labor. One of the characteristic features of the Industrial Revolution was the division of labor. Each person or a group of people performed a specialized task, which means each person was given the duties according to their abilities and capabilities. Next come the capitalism and economic disparity. Here, disparity means inequality. The Industrial Revolution led to the concentration of wealth in the hands of the capitalist. A few rich people who owned the means of production. The vast majority of workers were employed by the capitalists in their factories. Large number of workers were employed in the factory by the capitalists and worked under them for wages. They worked for wages. On wages they worked. They were exploited by the capitalist. The workers were exploited by the capitalist and lived in poverty and misery. See, there was a great difference between the rich capitalist and the poor workers. The capitalists were thus the haves, while the workers were the have-nots, which means the capitalists were wealthy and they had everything, while the workers were poor, they did not have anything. These economic inequalities led to the social inequalities, which eventually led to the growth of socialism. See, the advent of machines, which means the introduction of machines, led to a lot of people losing their jobs. When the machines were introduced, many people became jobless. Because why they became jobless? Because fewer people were required to produce the same goods and unemployment gave rise. The people became unemployed and they showed their anger. These unemployed people showed their anger against machines because machines had taken the place of the humans. The work which humans used to do, now machines had taken their place. Now the next which we are going to discuss is expansion of trade and commerce. There was an expansion in trade and commerce. Large scale production of goods led to the expansion of trade and commerce. Why there was expansion in trade and commerce? Because of the large production of goods. Surplus goods were sold to other countries. Here the surplus goods means after fulfilling the requirement of the nation, the goods which were remaining or the goods which were left were sold to other countries, by which there was increase in the profit and made the industrialized nation rich and prosperous. Because there was increase in the profit, the nation became rich and prosperous. Trade also expanded because steamships were being used, which were superior to the earlier ships. As production increased further, the nation began to look for new markets for the sale of finished products. This in turn led to competition among the European nations to acquire colonies in distant lands. Now we come to socialism. Socialism was a reaction of the evils of capitalism. Socialism is a system under which there is no private ownership of capital. People in a socialist setup would not be divided into rich and poor classes. In socialist system, people would not be divided into rich and poor classes. The means of production is owned by society as a whole, and everybody would work and share equally the profit, that is, the fruits of their labor. Thus, exploitation would be wiped out and a classless society based on economic and social equality would be established. Students, today we will discuss till here only. I hope you you have understood what I taught today. Revise all the things which I explained today. We shall continue in the next class. Thank you.